Yeah, well, I would describe it as sort of the conclusion of the story. Because I think if you understand that I wrote it as a single story, that for me, I just kind of broke it in half, and so for sure it's the logical conclusion of our story. Yeah, I feel like that for me, Cora's sort of story of redemption is ongoing. But I think that Gunnar and I think the whole sort of her experience with the Veltians has changed her and motivated her to be on a different path than say she was before. Yeah, probably, I would say. I mean, it would make sense, I think. I think especially when you see the director's cuts that are coming at the end of the summer, you'll really be able to identify kind of much more in those movies. Sort of the through line of the way I make movies or tell stories is much more obvious there. Yeah, I think that just the content is it's just a much more sort of singular approach. I feel like with the PG-13 versions, we definitely we're shooting for a broader audience. Anyone can watch it, kind of a family viewing experience, where with the director's cuts is much more R-rated and adult, and I think the themes, the sort of deconstructivist, sort of sci-fi content is much more obvious. And it's a little less earnest just because it's so over the top. And so I think it's really what I wrote. Yes, yeah, absolutely. We end on a cliffhanger again, but a less urgent cliffhanger, a little bit more of a conceptual cliffhanger, if you will. So let's see. Yeah, I think when I was working on the screenplay, and sort of the funnest to think about, other than Cora, is probably Jimmy is my favorite to just kind of think about and kind of do the sort of intellectual calisthenics to find a way into sort of Jimmy point of view. I always find it, but it's really fun. And I think, I think when you see the director's cuts, especially movie one, there's a ton more Jimmy's sort of going on his sort of spiritual journey into the mountains to kind of find the why of his existence. That's a much stronger, that doesn't really exist in the movie as it is in PG-13, but it definitely exists in the director's cut in a pretty incredible way.